Welcome to Because You Asked. I'm Barry Nussbaum. We're back with Ask the Ambassador with former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Danny Ayalon. Also was deputy foreign minister under Bibi Netanyahu, worked at the UN. He's been everywhere in Israeli government. Danny, thanks for coming back.
My pleasure.
So let's talk about one of the big issues in the United States today is we've got a different ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, who is making a lot of noise about changing the UN. And in particular, many of her speeches, Danny, have been about the United States not putting up any more with Israel being the dumping ground of the United Nations, especially in the General Assembly.
The UN has proven itself time and again to be a grossly biased organization when it comes to Israel.
Why is there so much anti-Israel sentiment, speeches, motions, declarations, condemnations of the state of Israel within the UN body, and now the UN Human Rights Commission led by Jordan?
Simply put, the United Nations and its organization has been hijacked by the Palestinians and their collaborators. They render them a rubber stamp, which is to the detriment of this organization because it really cuts down to its credibility, which is nothing. And the reason is the Arab automatic majority. You see, out of 193 member states, the majority is siding with the Arabs. Why? There are 22 Arab countries, 57 if you include Muslims. And then you have the non-development, which also under the extreme pressure of the Arabs, because these developing countries either need Arab money or Arab oil. So if you take it, all, it's about 120 countries which are under the influence of the Palestinians out of 193. So before the Palestinians even go out of their offices to vote in the UN, they have 120 in their pocket. So this automatic Arab majority is the reason. And the cause, of course, is that Israel will never allow the United Nations to be a partner or a negotiator because it's like a kangaroo court. And again, this at the end of the day hurts the Palestinians.
Well, I keep reading, and I'm sure you've heard the same sentiment in the United States, get us out of the UN. It's lost its focus. It's as you called it, a kangaroo court. For us in America, it's almost like the inmates are running the asylum. The goofball little countries with a very small population, with no democracy, run by thug dictators that slaughter people in their streets, get one vote. The same as the United States, the same as Israel. And when you add up those little countries combined with bigger countries and bigger countries, 99% of them have no elections, have no democracy, have no freedom, condemning Israel in every vote. At some point, don't we say in America, and maybe in Israel as well, it's lost its purpose, its focus, and any meaning?
Well, we say it. It certainly lost its purpose and its effectiveness. I'm not talking about dealing with the real issues of the world, especially the developing world, of hunger and poverty and diseases. And they don't deal with that because they're hijacked by the Palestinians. There was a thinking, to do away with the UN just to have an organization for democratic countries. But that didn't fly. And since this is the only game in town, we are all subscribed to it, but without giving it any significance. So it's just a game.
I can't even imagine what the Israeli delegation, the training that must be necessary to sit and listen to the abuse hour after hour in the General Assembly about human rights, where Syria, tens of thousands sometimes are killed in a short period of time, where Russia invades territory and slaughters everybody, where there's civil wars going on, where whole tribes are being wiped out in an afternoon, and an Israeli policeman shoots back after being shot at, and it's discussion at the Security Council. It's a disproportionate insanity that I don't know how you deal with it.
85% of all the condemnations in the UN are leveled at Israel. 85%.
And the other 15% are for the whole rest of the
For the
world?
rest of the world, for Darfur, for Bosnia, for Rwanda, the massacre there, the genocide there, for Cuba, for Venezuela with their dictatorship.
How about North Korea? How about
North
Iran?
Korea, you name it. Iran, exactly. So of course it's a joke. Nobody really takes it seriously. Even those countries that vote with the Arabs against Israel do not take it seriously, and they would come to us very apologetically, after the vote, to say we're sorry, we had to do it because of our interest and the pressure from the Arabs, but we don't mean it. Don't take it.
Don't take it seriously. We don't either.
And the most important thing is that on the bilateral relations, Israel with each and every one of those countries that vote against us, we have great relations of trade and commerce and investments and technological transfer and military cooperation, you name it. So again, it's a game, it's a theater of the absurd, and as long as the Palestinians will keep this attitude of no peace, no recognition of Israel, and no compromise, it will continue, again, to their detriment.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for joining us on Because You Asked. You can always write to me at barry@americantruthproject.org. And if you have a question for the ambassador, send it to me, and I'll make sure he sees it.